Did you know that on the coast just above Edinburgh there is a peninsula famous for golf and full of folk tales? Oh yeah, its name is Fife. Our story today begins here, in a still sleepy but beautiful Edinburgh, with me obviously in a half zombie version looking for my bus. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Lawrence and I'm here to tell you many stories around the world from a human point of view. Before starting, help me to grow this project, snap me a like and subscribe. Okay, let's get back to us. My bus was waiting for me at Rabbi's Cafe Bar and after a quick hello we started our journey. First stop, the famous Fort Bridge of Edinburgh, which connects the city to Fife, our destination. As you can see, there are actually 3 bridges, one for cars, one for trucks, buses and taxis, and one for trains. Talking to our guide Grant, we decided to be a little rebellious. We will do our tour in reverse. Yes, we all decided together, with the aim of arriving in Anstruther in the late afternoon, which is perfect time for fish and chips. But let's talk about that later. Now, Falklands! It was rainy and because of that I felt really good. There was the right mood for a fairy tale. You know, the stories tell of a girl called Kittuk, a very kind lady. All her life lived here in Falkland with generosity, working in her house, raising childs and loving her husband. But she had a weakness, she was always thirsty for the ale. So after a while she died and we, the snail friend, went to the gates of heaven. Before entering she was attracted by a nice pub like the one in Falklands, exactly near the gates. Legend has it that St. Peter in person went to get her and take her to heaven. 7 years of virtuous life passed until she couldn't take it anymore. She returned for eternity to the inn where she already is, among shores, daisies, cats and a good pint of ale. In the meantime, after wandering through the hill, our travel finally reached the capital of Fife. St. Andrews is the capital and is very interesting and full of history. There is a huge university and it's primarily known as the home of golf, partly due of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club founded in 1754, and partly also for the St. Andrews Old Course, or rather Grand Old Lady, considered the oldest golf course. I'm not a golf expert, but if you are a golf enthusiast, you must definitely come for a little walk here. In St. Andrews you can visit the cathedral and the castle, official residence of Scotland's leading bishop and later archbishop throughout the Middle Ages. It was great and I got a bit lost in its walls for a while, but the thing that interested me the most was the cliff nearby. It was so beautiful. The impression this town gave me was that it was very university, like in the movies, even if much more introverted. A college with a wool scarf and a cup of tea, sometimes probably mixed with whiskey. Anyway, yes guys, I admit it, I decided to book this trip mainly because I wanted to touch the water of the North Sea again. So, after the castle, I went to the beach. E attenzione, momento topico guys, andiamo a toccare l'acqua del mare del nord. Non so se sentite qualcosa perché c'è un vento assurdo e si va a toccare l'acqua del mare del nord. E oh yes! Ci sarebbe un bagnetto, però non c'è tempo, quindi torniamo indietro. Che figo! I was really happy, right? I love so much the North Sea. Anyway, there are many folk tales about St. Andrews. One told about an old man called Billy the Boy who died for a thunderstorm sinking with his boat. One is about a talented piper boy lost forever in a cave, and one is about a white stag that may take you away to meet the fairies who live in the fairy village of Kinninmont Hill. But my personal favorite involves a giant who lived in Blebo Craigs, who was angry at the buildings blocking his view of the sea, so he started throwing giant boulders, and one of them created the Blue Stain, which became known as the gathering place for the fairy folk. This tale is so great.
Oh, that's naughty.
I want 80 for that.
I was surprised that moose don't like dogs. For that parking spot.
And so we left again. Our last stop was Anstruder, a very famous place for fish and chips. I was looking out the window. They say between St. Andrews and Anstruder there is a vanishing village where the church of Daninukirk was built. I tried to see it, but I wasn't lucky. Maybe the legends are true. Anyway, after a while we reached our destination. Anstruder is a very nice and peaceful village. I spent all the time talking to 2 new American friends and filming the boats. Of course, also here there are many folk tales. The funniest ones involve Maggie Lauder, an Anstruder character with many stories and a popular song written about her. She was able to carry a man on her back long distances. She was brave with a strong heart, capable of facing soldier, and she was also a great dancer. In one story she danced to the flute until she and bagpiper Rob the Reinter passed out from exhaustion. Anstruder gave me a great sense of peace, where you breathe the North Sea air and where I can imagine a weary sailor having a pint in the quayside pub after a day of riding the wild waves. Unfortunately, our time was up, so as we got back on the road, I got lost in thoughts. I realized one very important thing that day, which was that if you have a bad view of the fairy lake, no problem, try throwing a boulder at something. And welcome to the end card, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed very much. So listen to me, if you visit Scotland, a day in Fife is great, so think about it. Of course, this is not a sponsored video, I made it for fun, and of course I'll write the sources about the fairy tales and the bus tour in description. So thank you again and see you in the next video, And as I always say, cheers!